There's a moment every night when your body gets heavy, your eyelids close slowly, and the world around you begins to dissolve. That moment, right before sleep, holds a power few truly understand. It's not just a routine phase of rest. It's a passageway, a doorway between the conscious and the subconscious, where what you think, feel, or fear can root itself deep into your energetic field. And it is here, silently, that most people chain themselves to poverty without ever realizing it. Many believe that poverty is only about money, but in truth, it's an energetic condition. It begins with thoughts, stories, and emotional residues that we replay on loop. And the most dangerous time for this loop to intensify is right before sleep, when the guard of logic drops and the subconscious becomes fertile soil. This is when you're most vulnerable to programming, especially if your final thoughts are soaked in anxiety, regret, or bitterness. Imagine someone lying in bed, replaying every mistake, every debt, every limitation. Without knowing, they're reinforcing an identity tied to lack, to failure, to insufficiency. They're entering the dream world broadcasting scarcity, and the universe, always listening, echoes back what it hears. This is how a mental loop becomes a magnetic field. This is how a habit becomes a vibration. And vibrations, as metaphysics and the law of vibration teach us, create reality. Before sleep, your mind becomes a temple. But for many, it turns into a cage, locked from the inside, made of thoughts they didn't even choose consciously. If your final energy of the day is low, your vibration begins to weaken over time. And a weakened vibration cannot align with abundance, no matter how hard you try externally. That's the silent danger that holds people stuck for years. The key is awareness, recognizing that the final moments of your day are sacred. They are not leftovers. They are the soil from which tomorrow grows. What you allow into your mind in that moment will multiply. And when you go to sleep, carrying energy that does not serve you, resentment, anxiety, shame, you're programming your field to receive more of the same. That's not mysticism. That's metaphysical law in motion. Not all wounds bleed. Some echo, especially those left by words, anger, and unresolved emotions that linger right before bed. You may think an argument is over because the shouting has stopped, but the energy stays. It hides in the background of your mind, weaving tension into your chest, tightening your breath, distorting your inner peace. And when you lay down to sleep carrying that weight, your spirit doesn't rest. It wrestles. Arguments, especially the ones that go unresolved, are not just emotional events. They are energetic transactions. They create cords, emotional ties, fragments of attention that stay hooked into the situation or the person involved. And these cords leak energy. Sleep, instead of becoming a place of restoration, becomes a battlefield where your soul tries to defend itself from what was left unsaid, unfelt, or unforgiven. When you sleep angry or emotionally unsettled, you're not just disturbing your dreams. You're affecting your magnetic frequency. You're choosing to carry the vibration of conflict into the deepest part of your consciousness. And remember, in spiritual law, like attracts like. Conflict attracts more conflict. Lack of closure attracts more chaos. This is why so many people wake up feeling heavy, drained, or anxious before the day even begins. It's not random. It's resonance. Ancient spiritual teachings have always emphasized forgiveness before sleep, not just as a moral practice, but as an energetic cleanse. Jesus of Nazareth taught this. So did many mystics and sages across cultures. Because when you forgive, or at least release the vibration of tension, you realign yourself with peace. And peace is a magnet for abundance. It's not softness, it's strength, it's clarity. It's your most powerful state. To end your day with anger is to poison the seed of tomorrow, and no one who's constantly planting seeds of bitterness can expect to harvest prosperity. The law is neutral. It gives back what you put in. So if you truly desire to escape poverty, it starts with closing the loops. Clean your emotional field before you close your eyes. Even if the world outside hasn't changed, your inner world must become your sanctuary, because no wealth can grow in soil that's still burning with yesterday's fire. There's a subtle heaviness many carry to bed each night, one that doesn't scream but whispers. It's the unfinished tasks, the resentment toward a boss, the fatigue of doing what you don't love. Most people overlook this weight because they believe it's just part of life. But in truth, this emotional residue from your workday is one of the strongest blocks to financial transformation. Your job is not just something you do, it becomes part of who you are energetically. The feelings you attach to your work, resentment, boredom, dissatisfaction, don't vanish when you clock out. They travel home with you, seep into your evenings, and settle in your vibration. And if you fall asleep carrying those emotions, you're repeatedly telling the universe, "This is what I accept. This is what I am aligned with." Energy doesn't lie. If you despise your job and go to bed hating your life circumstances, you are reinforcing the same cycle. You're vibrating from lack, from resistance, from emotional exhaustion. And no matter how many hours you work or how many affirmations you recite, the core signal you're sending is, "I am stuck." That signal repels abundance. It repels opportunities. Because abundance flows toward joy, creativity, openness, not frustration and survival. Even if you're unemployed, the energy of past work environments can haunt you. The bitterness of being underappreciated, the shame of failure, or the burden of burnout can still live within you. That vibrational memory clouds your ability to attract new paths. It's like trying to breathe deeply with smoke in your lungs. Until you cleanse that residue, you won't find clarity or movement. The shift doesn't begin with quitting your job. It begins with changing how you process it. Use the moments before sleep to detach, not ignore, detach. Release the need to replay every frustrating moment. Instead, begin a new pattern. Envision yourself doing what brings you peace, even if you don't know exactly what that is yet. Energetically, that act alone sends out a new frequency, and frequencies are how realities are built. Work is energy. And the way you carry that energy into your rest determines whether you build a bridge to freedom or a wall around your spirit. Sleep with the vibration of possibility, not pressure. That's where wealth begins, not just financial, but spiritual and creative. Because you are not meant to survive your days, you are meant to feel alive in them. Every night, millions of people lie awake with one thought looping endlessly in their minds. I don't have enough. Not enough money, not enough time, not enough control. That thought might seem harmless, just a quiet worry. But energetically, it is a declaration. It's a contract signed in silence. A contract with lack. This kind of mental looping before sleep creates what metaphysics calls an imprint, an energetic signature that the subconscious absorbs and amplifies. If you sleep worrying about bills, about what you lack, about what you haven't yet achieved, you're sending a broadcast of fear and insufficiency into the quantum field. And the universe, precise and neutral, mirrors that signal back with more of the same, situations that confirm your lack. Poverty, in its truest form, begins in the imagination. Not the good kind of imagination, but the fearful one. The one that projects worst-case scenarios, visualizes overdrafts, failed dreams, broken plans. And when this imagination becomes a nightly routine, it calcifies into belief. Beliefs shape identity, and identity shapes reality. But there's another path, one that successful, spiritually grounded people often walk, even without realizing it. They fall asleep rehearsing abundance. They visualize the weight of money in their hands, the smell of freedom in the air, the ease of bills paid, of dreams funded. This isn't fantasy, it's frequency work. And it reprograms the subconscious to accept abundance as a norm, not a miracle. The law of vibration is simple. You attract what matches your frequency. If you feel lack, you magnetize lack. If you feel fullness, you begin to attract the forms that reflect it. The mind before sleep is like soft soil. Whatever seed you plant, fear or faith, will grow overnight. That's why it is critical to guard your thoughts in that window, not with fear, but with intention. Begin a new ritual. Instead of counting worries, count visions. See your debts erased. Imagine your account overflowing. Feel gratitude for the wealth you haven't even touched yet, as if it were already yours, because energetically it is, if you allow it. Sleep as if your future is already healing, already shifting, already preparing a new stage for you, because it is. You may think it's harmless, a quick scroll through the news, a few minutes of late-night TV, or even a thriller movie before bed. But what enters your mind in those final moments of the day doesn't just disappear when the screen goes dark. It stays. It embeds itself in your subconscious. It vibrates through your energy field long after your eyes are closed, and it begins to shape not only your dreams, but your destiny. Modern media thrives on fear. Tragedies, disasters, crime, conflict. These are the headlines that dominate because they grab attention. But attention is energy, and energy is what you're made of. When you feed your system with fear-based content, especially before sleep, you're absorbing and internalizing those frequencies. You're telling your subconscious that this is the reality you believe in, the world you expect, the vibration you align with. Entertainment, when chosen unconsciously, can be just as toxic. Horror movies, dramatic series, or even chaotic YouTube content may seem thrilling, but they leave an energetic imprint. They activate anxiety, tension, survival mode instincts. And if that's the state you fall asleep in, it becomes the emotional foundation for the next day. Your system doesn't know it was just a movie. Your energy field only knows the frequency it absorbed. From a metaphysical perspective, this nightly dose of negativity pollutes the vibrational field through which your thoughts manifest. It's like trying to plant seeds of abundance in soil drenched in poison. The thoughts, emotions, and visions you go to sleep with enter your dream realm, but they also echo into your waking reality. Repeated exposure creates normalization, and what you normalize, you attract. If you want to escape poverty, not just financially, but mentally and spiritually, you must become a guardian of your inner world. That means protecting your energetic entry points, especially before sleep. Choose content that uplifts, inspires, calms, or better yet, silence. Reflection, visualization, even just sitting with stillness for 10 minutes before bed can detox your field far more than hours of passive consumption. You are not just a consumer of media, you are a conductor of energy, and what you allow in determines what you give out. Sleep should be a return to peace, not a continuation of chaos. When your nights are filled with clarity, your days become filled with opportunity. What you tune into, you turn into. Let your mind before sleep be a temple, not a trash can. If every night is a portal, then every sleep is a rebirth. But most people carry yesterday's pain into tomorrow's potential, unknowingly recycling the same energy that keeps them poor. Not just in money, but in spirit, creativity, and peace. True transformation begins not with what you do during the day, but with what you plant in the silence before you sleep. Spirituality and metaphysics have long taught that the subconscious mind is most open, most impressionable in the final moments before sleep. That is when the conscious filter fades. And the subconscious becomes the architect of your vibration. Whatever you tell yourself, whatever you feel, whatever you imagine during this window becomes the blueprint for your energetic field. And your energetic field is what attracts your reality. Instead of repeating thoughts of scarcity, choose to design your inner world. Close your eyes and see your life not as it is, but as it could be. No, as it will be. Imagine walking into your dream home. Imagine the calm of financial security. Feel the weight of freedom in your chest. These aren't illusions, they are energetic seeds. The more often you plant them, the more real they become. Because in the metaphysical realm, the inner always precedes the outer. This isn't about pretending problems don't exist. It's about choosing which part of your life gets your energy. By focusing on what's possible instead of what's broken, you begin to shift frequency. And when your frequency changes, so does your magnetism. So does your path. Wealth doesn't arrive only through hard work, it arrives through alignment. And alignment is emotional, spiritual, vibrational. Make it your sacred ritual. Each night, instead of reviewing all that went wrong, rehearse what's going right. Instead of fearing the unknown, fall in love with possibility. You are not meant to live in a loop of survival. You are here to rise, to create, to flow, to thrive. And it begins the moment you stop rehearsing scarcity and start rehearsing abundance in the silence of your own mind. Poverty is not your identity. It's a frequency, one that can be tuned out the same way you turn off static. But you must be intentional. You must protect your final thoughts like sacred ground, because they are. And every night you choose peace, gratitude, and vision. You step one layer closer to the version of you who has already arrived.